Good morning, App Properties. It's Amy Corr, and thank you for joining me and Kevin Van Eck again today. It's Wednesday, March 25th, and we're with you over coffee and to talk about your productivity.
Yeah, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Another edition of Coffee with Amy and Kevin, so happy to be here. And today we have a special guest again, and it's exciting because in the past, over the last week and a half, we've talked with a few people specifically about communication and working with buyers and sellers and what we can do now. We have a special guest today who can give us the story from the front lines and how they're having conversations with their buyers, sellers, and database. And so while we've heard, Thad talk about it, I think this is going to be a great episode because we can hear it directly from a broker who's having these conversations, as recently as this morning.
Yep. Well, I'm super excited to have Jena Radnay from our Winnetka office here with us. She's here to talk with us about how she's managing her business during COVID-19 and how she's making sure she is being the trusted advisor her clients are needing during this really uncertain time in our economy. So Jena, welcome.
Welcome. Good morning, App Properties. What movie is that from?
That's right. That's Robin Williams, right? Good morning, Vietnam.
That's right. Here we are on the front line, right, Aim?
Yep, here we are. All right, so I want to jump right in. We've got a ton of questions to ask you today, and I know you've got some really great insight. In fact, when we were on the phone just a bit ago, you were talking about how the most critical thing right now is to be a leader for your clients during this really uncertain time. So tell me more about that. How does an agent become a leader for their clients right now?
Right now, it is about the question about telling them they need to proceed a certain way. You need to tell them what to do. No one is looking anymore at the TV to figure out what a realtor needs to do in this market. You need to tell them how they are going to use their day, how they're going to use their house. What is your action plan with them? The first line in my email, which everyone will get a copy of, I think today, I will say, it has been a crazy, scary few days for everyone, but I want to give you an update about how to proceed in this unpredictable market. Let's be honest, it sucks, it's scary, but what our clients are looking for is honesty and an action plan. And I've been able to kind of dissect what needs to happen with all my listings, my buyers right now, so they know that they can come to me and that I am actually their leader, their advocate, and their partner throughout this process. One key word is we are continuing. Let's continue to work together. Let's continue to figure out how we're going to do that with safety issues, with making sure everyone feels good about walking into our house, video chats. So I think to really be a leader, you have to be a leader, but communicating the right way. And I'm communicating with my clients every day, text, email. For example, this morning, I'm picking out carpet at a listing. And I said, let's get through 3 colors today and pick out what we want to order by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Communication. And it's going to be hard for some people that are used to just communicating a showings at 2:30 or we're doing this, but everyone's going to have to figure out ways to get to their clients through different ways of communicating.
That's great. So let me ask you this then. What are the questions you're getting right now from buyers and sellers?
Oh my God, Jena, what are we going to do? Are we not going to sell our house? Oh my, this is so scary. Should we just not do anything? So people are frantic. They're panicked. I'm not. So the first thing is, you don't need someone else on the other end of that conversation saying, I know it's so horrible. I watched, the TV. We don't need that right now. And everyone needs to pull up their bootstraps and figure out what your tactics are going to be. Because guess what? This is gonna work out at some point. It's gonna suck, but we're gonna get through this. So the questions I'm getting, the biggest question is, should we not put our house in the market? And it depends. I have 8 listings coming on, and I'm all working with my clients in different ways. I'm sticking to my marketing plans where I'm pre-launching, gonna list. But what I'm really doing right now is I'm taking each listing apart, even with my buyers, and figuring out what I can do with you today to keep you in my repertoire of conversation. Because you want to still stay to a plan. The plan might be delayed. Like I had, I think, 4 houses launching April 1st. I've delayed those. One, I'm not going to delay because it's at a certain price point that's good right now. But figuring out what to do in the meantime to keep this going. So I think it's really about, yes, you are going to list your house. We're just going to have a delay. We're going to still work through those issues, you know, in terms of getting your new launch date. But I'm just keeping saying, hey, we're continuing to work. We might be, you know, but you got to keep people moving forward. That is the key to this business. We're moving forward. It might be slower, but we're moving forward.
Great. I want to go back to something you just said. You talk about communication. It's important to communicate with everyone every day. But in there, you mentioned an email letter that you had sent. And so it's truly one of the best pieces of communication I've read. And I just want to hear a little bit about how you crafted that, because everyone's looking for a way to write something that is meaningful and authentic to their people. How did you come up with this letter that you wrote?
Well, first of all, I watch the news every day, okay? I wake up in the morning, I read my Crane's Business, I go online, I check CNN, I check Fox News. I just go to every media news outlet to see the difference in storylines, so I'm educated. And I'm not saying what party I work for or anything like that, but I figure out what people are going to be talking about. Even Skim, SKIMM, is a great resource online that just gets to the point real quick. So that's the first thing. I was writing an email on Friday afternoon to my clients, and then I got word that we were going to go into a shelter we're going to be into shelter mode by Saturday at 5. So I quickly changed the whole tone of my email, because my first email was about like, we can, you know, businesses are still moving. You can still get your nails done. Not really like that, but my point is we weren't in shelter mode. The minute we went to shelter mode, my tone changed, because I had to be consistent with what the message was in our community and what the message was from a safety perspective and what the message was in terms of what our medical staff was doing. So I kind of rewrote what I wanted to do. But here is the takeaway that I wanted my clients to read. Number one, I'm leading you through this chaos and through this virus, okay? It's a black and white situation. I'm gonna be here for you. I'm not gonna disappear when things get bad. It's bad now, I'm here. So first of all, I'm here for you. Number two is, let's be real. It's gonna suck. Let's talk about the fact that we are gonna have a delayed spring market. I mean, this is the market we all wait for. We're like, I've been holding on to listings now to like April 1st, let's hit it. So we have to kind of gear in terms of what we're going to do with our clients in terms of spring launch. Here's what I'm saying. Maybe it's an early summer launch. What's wrong with that? Maybe 4th of July, maybe that's going to be our big, huge week. So I'm already thinking ahead in terms of what I'm going to do once this market hits and where I'm going to have my impact with my listings. The other thing is, when people say, should I take my house off the market? Are you crazy? People are online, looking at Google, looking online. People text me, some celebrity just lists their house. People are so bored and all they want to do is look at real estate. You have so many eyes on your house. So if you're on the market now, stay on, enhance your listing, do more social media. I'm doing little videos of snippets. Look how great this backyard's going to be this summer. Ha, ha, ha. So basically use the downtime to start increasing your platform for social media. This is the time to do that. Here's another message I like to do. My third-party vendors, they all want to make money. They all want to work. My painters, my plumbers, my electricians, my gardeners, my landscapers, guess what they're texting me? Jena, what can we do? What can we do? Great. I've got 3 houses being painted right now. I've got carpet going in, and I'm micromanaging that process more than I did before, and Annie and Elle are getting mad at me, so people know I'm on top of it. So back to your question, how did I write this email? I took through strategically what I wanted my messaging to be. Here's the other message I wanted to come through. This market is not falling apart. It's not going to fall apart. Here's why. We're not going to let it fall apart. We're going to keep it moving together. We know we're going to have a big movement in the city with people going to the suburbs. It's going to happen this year. CPS is not in a good place. I see it. People are calling me to come up to the suburbs. This is going to work for Hinsdale. This is going to work for Elmhurst. This is going to work for the North Shore. This is going to be good for everybody. We're going to be on a delay. So I say to my clients, get ready. Don't think this world's falling apart, because it's not. We're going to make it through this. Last and most important thing is, I don't care about business. No one's good in business unless you have people. I want people to know that we're committed to them. That's my last paragraph. This is always about opportunity. And guess what, everybody? Everyone needs a place to live. That's the most important thing. So you got to have faith in your community, be a leader in your community, talk to everybody, be part of things, and most importantly, support the people that are working for us at the forefront, at hospitals, doing the virus testing. We're putting their lives at risk every day for us. That's the key. We won't be working until they start working and doing all of that. So I think it's more about being a community and really being a partner. And actually, everyone, this is going to be a test for a lot of agents who are newer to the business, who don't have that comfortability factor like I do. But now is the time to shine. Great agents are not made at great times. Great agents are made at low times. This is one of those low times. Find your niche, find your platform.
That's awesome, Jena. And I know I actually, took a look at that letter, and it was great because it hit on so many things. It hit on, how we're going to be doing business. It also hit on a lot of the emotions that your clients were probably running through at the time as they were trying to figure out what are we going to do. And to your point, right now, they really need to be guided through this time. We're all going to get through it, but they really are looking for leadership. So let me ask you this. What have been some of the most difficult conversations you're having with clients so far? I mean, people have lost money in the stock market. People are needing to make changes quickly. You mentioned just some, difficulties internally in families right now. So what are some of the difficult conversations you're having, and how are you kind of guiding your clients through those?
Well, I think the most difficult thing in this business when we're dealing with real estate is one word: money. Where is the money flowing? Where is it coming from? Who's got it? Are we going to be short? Are we going to have too much? Right now, I've got a lot of clients that hedged against stuff, and they're having margin calls and they have to pay up. So I think what people are really figuring out right now is, I was a seller at this price point, but God, I just lost all this. I'm really a seller at this price point. Where are you with your money? Meaning, hey, Amy, listen, I know we're going to be selling our house. Have the market shifted? Are you guys good? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to kind of talk strategically about what we really need to sell your house for now? Let's be realistic. I think people are really nervous about, what does this mean for their portfolio? Can I afford to sell my house? What are we doing here to make sure that we're on the same page? And it's awkward. No one likes to ask, hey, Amy, how much money do you have stocked away? It's awkward. So don't make it awkward for them. Hey, I'm here to help you guys. Listen. This is kind of throwing a wrench into a lot of people's plans. Are we good? Do you want to talk about selling price again? Where are we in terms of what you guys really need to get out of this house? Because what you don't want to be doing right now is working for someone that's going to go into a short sale. And guess what happens with that? That goes through bank processes. You might not be the agent at the end of the day. So cover yourself. Figure out the money. Figure out what's really doable. I have some sellers right now who basically said, I might just want to let this whole virus kind of see what happens and sell next year. And here's my answer to that. Why would you do that? Like, at some point, you always have an excuse. So you got to figure out how to get through the money piece.
Got it. So I want to go back just for a second. I agree. The money conversation is always tough, right? There's a lot involved with it. People are afraid to be real and talk about it up front. So being candid about it. But going back to also being candid about listing, you mentioned that you had listings coming up or planned for April 1st. And you mentioned you're pushing some of them and others you're advising differently. How are you deciding what to do with those listings that they were planning to go live?
Most important thing is look at your market data for your neighborhood. Okay. Right now in Winnetka and the North Shore, we've got a great little market, the 850 to 1.2 market. Great. People are still looking there, asking about it. I've got a listing that's going to fall into that category, and I'm going to list that April 1st. Today I'm doing pictures of Matt Mansueto. I am doing a video. My point is, I'm going to put that one on because I know right now, based upon what I know up here, because I'm actively engaged every day, I'm going to put that on. My luxury listings, I'm going to hold back for a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make more of an effort to communicate with my city brokers. People like Jeff Lowe, Emily Sachs-Wong, Jenny Ames, all the people that had the luxury in the city, guess what? They're going to have luxury up here. For example, one of the agents I already had a conversation with, we have scheduled a showing for a luxury listing next week. Why a week out? Because I need to get 3 college kids who are pigs in the house out of the house. And I need to get these 2 Bernese mountain dogs out as well. So that family needs about a week to get that house together. And then I got to wipe it down with Clorox, hit all the handles, and make sure that my booty's out the back door. So I think it's about preparing and still keeping, like I said before, how are we going to proceed? Let's continue. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's doable.
All right, so you referenced it just a little bit about showings, but I wanted you to dive in a little bit more about that. How are you handling showings right now? It sounds to me like you are doing in-person showings. when possible. Sounds like, you know, you have to tee up your sellers and maybe give them a little bit more lead time in this environment. But what else are you doing? Are you doing virtual showings right now? Are you walking people through with your iPhone? You know, are you doing anything from a virtual technology standpoint to make sure that showings are still happening, even if maybe people are uncomfortable, you know, going to the home in person?
I think you have to put your showings into two categories: vacant and non-vacant. Vacant, we love vacant showings right now. You should be showing all of your vacant showings. Here's how you do it. You have your door open, you have the lights on. No one's living there. There's no virus living there. You let the person come in the front door. You can wait in the car, keep your 6 feet. I am continuing all my vacant showings. There should be no problem with them as long as people are not touching things and there's no kids living there or family. So vacant showings, you should be doing those. If there's something's vacant, you should be promoting those listings right now. Those are easy. You know what the first line should be? Vacant and ready for you. Bring your wipes, bring your booties. So my point is that's easy peasy. The second thing, if people want to do a showing, there's people there. Figure out what they are worried about, okay? And I just have to differentiate. Are you worried about the safety piece of touching something? And if that's the case, don't screw with those buyers. Let them do a video showing. I just did a FaceTime where I walked through and I sent it to the agent and I said, here's what the house looks like. Differentiate what they're scared about. Differentiate what safety issue they're worried about, because you can figure it out. And if they say, well, we would do it, but I want to make sure the house is clean. You know what's in my car? Clorox, sanitizer. I've got it all. And basically help them, make them feel safe. I wear gloves. Call me crazy. You know what gloves stand for? You're trying to be clean. So I have 50 vinyl gloves in the back of my car. I've got 2 Clorox wipes. I come in, I open the door, I put all the lights on. And actually, sometimes I have my seller do the lights so no one's touching anything. Make it safe. Talk about how you're going to make it safe for them. Don't just say we can do the showing. Here's how we are going to do the showing. When you come to the front door, it's going to be halfway open. All lights are on. Please don't touch anything. Please, you don't sit down anywhere either. We're worried about you. Like, basically, calm it, take it, lead it. And then I'm still doing some showings. So my point is, if you dictate that you mean business, the buyer's going to feel real safe walking through that house. As long as they're not touching and wiping down on islands, you're fine.
All really good points. And, you know, I know that we talked earlier, and for you, you really are making sure that safety is key and that people are aware of that, but that it's also, you know, business as usual, which I think is really important. So I want to talk a little bit about the fact that this is a difficult time in real estate, just in the sense that there's a bit of an unknown. And, you know, I know you've been through a difficult time in the past. You were actually just ramping your business up in 2008 in the city when the market was changing. We have a lot of agents who may not be as busy right now as you are, let's say, with active clients, whether they be buyers or sellers. Some newer brokers who just got into the business. As a new broker, what do you recommend they do or that they focus on right now during this challenging time in the business so that they can ultimately come out ahead more effective than ever and really be able to grow a business coming out of this?
Well, I will say, when I was in 2008, when I started the business, I couldn't have been in a worse situation. I was pregnant. I was fat. My ankles were swollen. I was like, I cannot believe I did this to myself. And I came from an incredible job at McDonald's Corporation. So I had to really figure out what I was going to do. What I did is I tagged along with an incredible agent at Kenning & Stray, who happens to be a great friend of mine still to this day. I basically followed her around, was on her coattails. Whatever she didn't want to do, I did for her. So I took basically a market that was falling apart, and that was a different kind of market. Trust me, this is at least somewhat attainable. We know where this is going to go. I was really ready to get dirty. And the most important thing, I think, when you're figuring out who you are, is it's really good. It's really easy to be a great agent in a great market. And I think it's really easy to not be an agent at all in a crappy market or a market that has uncertainty like we do right now. So you got to find your platform. And what I did is I figured out who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the neighborhood expert of Lincoln Park. That's where I lived. I lived off Clybourne and Armitage. I wanted to basically know everything about those buildings. With this woman I worked with at Kenning & Stray, I did all her direct mail pieces. I announced when new listings were coming on. This just sold. Can you believe it? You know, so I took it upon myself to be the expert for her, put her name on all the postcards and I learned my business and I figured out who I wanted to be. So I used her as a way to get to what I wanted in this with my business. But you got to figure out who you want to be, and it's going to be tough. Talking to new agents out there, this is going to be a tough time for you. Let's not BS, okay? But here's what you need to do. Figure out what your platform is. And here's what I mean by that. What kind of agent do you want to be? Do you want to be an agent that is just going to wait for the market to turn? Guess what? You're not going to be around. So you got to figure out who you want to be. What are you good at? What do you love to do? Are you into gardening? I'm going to tell you a quick thing. I had another agent who does really well right now, who was always a huge gardener. I hate gardening, by the way. I just don't have time for it. But she knew every flower, knew how to landscape. So she started off her platform with these beautiful postcards about summer's coming and this gorgeous flowers, and you're expert. And she knew a really good landscaper, and she figured out how to get into the business with knowing that she was an expert in gardening. That was her platform. And to this day, all of her cards and direct mail pieces have flowers on them, and she does great. So my point is, figure out who your platform is. Figure out who you are as a brand. Aren't you bored? Let's not make you bored anymore. Figure out I just finished my branding book, and everyone should have a branding book. And here's what a branding book is. Your first page should be your mission statement. What is your mission? Why do you want to be an agent? What brought you to being an agent? So figure out now in this downtime what your mission statement is, and put together your branding book. And this is going to be part of your platform, and figure out what you want to accomplish during this downtime. So use this time to be an expert in something. Let me give you another example. What restaurants open right now around you? What can you do to help people around? Hey, did you know that there's a happy hour with free half chickens from 4 to 5 at this restaurant around the corner from me at, Cafe Gemini? Whatever it is, figure out what's happening today in your neighborhood. Start doing some online, do a direct mail piece, do social media, find yourself, and use what's happening in your neighborhood to show that you are a leader in knowing where this virus is going and how you can help someone in your community to getting a better deal on food, to getting a better deal to shop at a certain hour if you have an elderly client. Figure it out. This is where you're going to be made in times like this. And if you can get through this time, you're going to coast come this summer. So figure out your platform. Figure out who you want to be as an agent. This is your time.
So much good advice. It's really been good talking to you, with you. I know that we could talk with you literally for hours. So thank you for sharing.
You bet.
It's really great. Really appreciate you taking the time this morning. One of the things you'd mentioned is that you're willing to share that letter. So the email that you'd sent out. So I know everyone's going to really appreciate that. One last question in terms of that letter, what should they modify? When an agent gets that letter, what should they do with it?
Okay. I think that the thing when you're looking at my email is I put my personality, probably there's a sentence in each paragraph that talks a little bit to who I am. For example, the game I played it with myself in the morning is I go to 4 Walgreens to see where hand sanitizer is available. I can only buy 2 at a time, and then I bring those home. I know it's like looking for gold. So I put that in my first paragraph. So things that are about me personally, take that out as blanks and put them about you. Figure out what's funny about you, what you're doing today. Maybe you made 6 dozen cookies and they tasted like crap. I don't know, but figure it out. Find out where you can weave in your personality to bring it home to your clients so they don't feel like it's a stupid formatted email that came from your company. You are your own company. You make your own money, so figure it out. That's how I would use my letter.
Awesome. Thank you, Jena. Really appreciate, again, you spending time with us today. And hopefully everybody enjoyed it as well. So moving forward, we've got a good lineup coming for the next coming days. We've got proper title coming. We've got an attorney coming. We're going to be talking with Mike and talking through financials and what they're talking about in the government in terms of a stimulus package. And so we'll get some more clarity on that as it happens. So we'll see you later this week with that. As always, if you have any questions, comments, you need anything, or you have topic suggestions, just make sure you send them to @coaching@properties.com. And that's atcoaching@atproperties.com. And then lastly, please make sure to always check back to the internet on platform, the up-to-date information that's there. If you need any documentation, articles, if you want to rewatch any videos, they're all there in platform. So make sure you check that out. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jena. Thank you, Amy. It's been great. Another good morning. Thanks for the advice, Jena, and thanks for the time.
Keep it going,
Thanks, guys.
Let's keep it going.
Thanks, Jena.